The 2025 Southern Conference, Frank Solano, how to build pickleball weapons to the 5-0 level.
Currently playing, this year he went to India. Played, or was it last year?
This year.
This year he went to India, played professionally over there, so some great stories from that. Follow him around, he's an influencer, has his own paddle. Cutting edge, anything you know about pickleball, he's at the forefront of it. From paddles, from playing, from teaching. Currently, he's going around doing his clinics. You're going to be at the Painted Pickle in Atlanta.
Next weekend.
Next weekend, he does, sells out.
Sells out.
Every time.
Yeah.
So, if you're wondering where, pickleball is, he can tell you exactly where it is. He can tell you where it's going. Because he's at the forefront of it. Social media presence is amazing.
Man, I just got hacked.
Uh-oh.
So I was very anxious because I built a big following on social media, and on Wednesday a hacker got into my account and sent me a message through WhatsApp like, hey, how much are you gonna pay for this? And
ransomware.
Yeah, so right now I'm just growing my account, my Luna account for my paddle. And but yeah, I was pretty bummed just because I was very anxious, like what is this guy's gonna post, and because you have all these people, your family, everybody's following you there, so.
Yeah.
Are you on Instagram or WhatsApp?
So I was on Instagram. The hacker got into my Instagram account, and he got my number, my email, so he messaged me through WhatsApp, like, do you want this back? So my social media guy that does my stuff, he was like, Frank, do not contact him because he's not gonna give you your account back. He's just gonna try to get a lot of money from you. And so that's where I'm at. This week's been pretty stressful just because I'm trying to just use my Luna account. I mean, I don't have as many followers there, but I feel like everything got stripped off. So I'm trying to think of ways where I can do all my videos on a place where I can control my videos, because all my videos are on Instagram, but they own them. They literally I'm just locked out of my account and I can't do anything about it. So
I mean, it's a Pickleball Pro that has a challenge that we wouldn't foresee that's what a Pickleball Pro would have, right? Or a tennis pro or anyone in the racket sports industry. And this is stuff that we actually don't learn about. So sorry you're having to go through it, but we'd love to see how you resolve it and how you come to the end of it. But maybe you just rebuilding your account with everyone here. One viewer at a time. But anyway, very excited to have Frank here. Very fortunate to have him speaking for us. There's more people coming out, but I'll give you the floor. Thank you, everyone. Welcome in.
Thank you guys. Thank you. Well, just give you guys a little bit of a story, like how I got started. Like most of you guys, I was arrogant about pickleball at first. I was like, dude, are you kidding me? I'm not playing that silly sport. I'm a tennis guy. But eventually I started playing, and I was losing to 76-year-old guys, and I was just like, I gotta figure this out. So I was like, all right. Started researching it, going on YouTube, started playing tournaments, and little by little, in 2022, I won the US Open at the 5-0 level. So in the semifinals and in the finals, so I beat 2 pros. And I was like, man, I can beat some pros, I'm just gonna start playing professional. So in the last couple of years, I've been able to play against Ben Johns, all the top guys. So it's it was pretty rewarding. And then, like Marcus said, I went to India this year, and I got drafted as team captain to one of the pro teams. And the sport over there is just exploding right now. So they're not into it as much as the US. So they treated me like Roger Federer. They thought I was amazing, Where here I'm just like a normal kind of guy. So it was fun because they treated us to a 5-star resort, to dinners. We had a personal guy that drove us around. So it was a pretty cool experience to see where the sport is going, in international. I want to teach you guys a couple of weapons that it took me a while to develop, because when I first started, I was just being solid. I was just trying to say, okay, I gotta hit a 30-shot drop, I gotta be solid, and I was just making sure that I was just solid enough to kind of beat players. But when I started playing the pros, they were just coming up with some big weapons where I was just I couldn't keep up. So us as tennis players, we have a big advantage because we have a lot of more topspin than the regular person. And the topspin is what's gonna set you apart if you learn how to use it right. Okay? So I'm gonna walk you guys through some of the stuff, some of the shots that's gonna make you get to that 5-0 level. Marcus, you going over there on that side?
I'm already at 5-0 level, so Are you sure this is the right?
I'm just trying to get engaged on the court right now. Hey, what's up, Jay? That's me. That's So, all right. So the first shot that I'm gonna teach you guys is gonna be. I'm just gonna get the mic. Hello. Is that too loud? All right. So the first shot that's gonna start you out is gonna be your serve, right? Us as tennis players, we see the court sideways. Like, oh, I'm gonna serve this guy this way. I'm gonna serve this guy this way. Nah. Pickleball, any two players, you're not gonna hurt them going side to side. Biggest thing you wanna do is you wanna keep them back. So the deeper the serve, the heavier the serve, the less things they can do with the return. What you are trying to accomplish is you are trying to accomplish a short return. So once I put my cones back there, I throw up the serve with heavy spin, I keep them back, and then all of a sudden, I'm trying to create space for him to get to the kitchen line. So if the return is here versus here, that's a huge difference. Here I'm playing defensive, here I'm playing offensive. So basically what you're trying to accomplish is you're trying to go high and deep. See where the cones are? If you're just kind of tapping it in, Marcus is going to hit that return, get to the kitchen line, and maybe feel his presence, right? But if I'm able to kind of keep them back, heavy spin, you see that was close to the line. Then all of a sudden, he's going to be struggling to get to the kitchen line. So that's what I want you guys, when you're trying to play pickleball, you want to practice like a heavy forehand. Basically, that's what it is. You're hitting a forehand, but you're hitting it hard. So you're really going after it. You go, see, you can't even return that. Oh, there you go. So it's boom. So it's a heavy forehand that has a lot of spin and a lot of action. But if you never practice that, you get to a match, and then you just kind of want to tap it in, right? So the serve is becoming that's my biggest weapon. My serve sets me up for a third shot drive or a third shot drop. And then they will never be able to kind of keep up with me. So you can move the cones right now if you want, Marcus. So we'll just play like right here, return and come in. See, that's really good return because you kept it nice and deep. So basically, that's what the first weapon is going to go around your serve, because that's where you're going to be able to kind of get the advantage right away. If you get a good serve, they'll get a weak reply, and then you're going to be able to kind of take over from the point. All right. So the second shot is going to be the return. The return, as tennis players, you think that you want to hit it as hard as you can. Right? I see tennis players, all right, serve me a ball. They'll hit it really hard because they want to crush the person, right? You do not want to do that, because the harder you hit this ball, the less time you get to go to the kitchen. So the way that you want to do it, all right, serve me a ball. So by the time he's hitting the shot, I'm already established. So what you want to do is you're trying to build yourself time, trying to keep it deep, by yourself time, get to the kitchen, and try to keep your advantage. All right? Yeah, so that's the biggest thing for tennis players, that they'll try to hit it too hard. And you can get away with it when you are trying to overpower players, but when you're playing anybody that's any good, you're not going to overpower them, right? You are trying to set yourself up to get here for him to get to the baseline. But right now, when I'm here, the percentages for me to win the point is 80-20. So imagine, I try to beat me the point. So I'm trying to keep my advantage until he does that. He was like, all right, I gotta hit it harder because this guy's too good. No, I'm just keeping him deep. I'm just being solid. I'm just trying to keep my 80-20 as much as possible instead of seeing the court like angles, because you end up missing. You know, when you play like tennis where you're trying to go, oh, I want to angle this guy, and then all of a sudden you just missed it because the court is tiny. So the way that your mindset should be is going to be depth-wise. That's what is going to keep you, you know, keeping that advantage as far as like keeping the upper hand on the point. All right. So now I want you to go to the kitchen line. All right. So you're gonna serve. You're gonna feed me a ball, and then I'm gonna go right at you. So be ready. All right. So this is the third shot. So let's say I served already. He returned, and I'm hitting a third shot. So I have to let the ball bounce. All right. All right, do it again. Man, you're too good, man. You're supposed to pop that out. Boom. So, thank you for that. You made me look like a rock star. So, basically, the third shot drive, what you want to do is you want to hit it with a lot of topspin. So that's what's going to separate you from everybody else. If you're able to kind of shape this ball with a lot of topspin, this guy has nothing but to have to pop it up. I don't care if you're a pro or anything, you're going to pop this ball up because I have a lot of topspin on the shot. If I go straight, he can handle it. But if I'm able to give him some juice, he's either going to dump it in the net or he's going to pop it up. And then you can hit this shot it's called shake and bake. So this shot is what you call a shake and bake. So you go shape it, taking your time with the shot, you're moving up. When he volleys, you stop, and then you bake him. Go ahead.
You hit your backhand with one hand or
2
two hands?
hands. So basically, you want to do the same thing with your backhand. When the first year that I played, I was only poking it with one hand because I literally didn't know how to grip the paddle. I have a 2-handed backhand, as Jen knows, in tennis, but like I was just kind of poking it. I was just doing one hand because I didn't know what to do with it. And then all of a sudden, a guy was like, "Frank, why don't you just hit a 2-handed backhand like you do in tennis?" So I gripped it, I pushed two fingers in the back, and I was able to put the topspin on it. So same thing, feed me a shot, or be at the kitchen and feed it to me. So I'll go here and I shape it, and then he pops it up, and then I can shake and bake. So you can do the shake and bake on both sides, forehand and backhand. Okay. So that's the shake and bake. That's a shot that obviously you don't want to do it every single time because they'll know that it's coming. But that's a shot that if I can get enough shape on the ball, no one's going to be able to keep up with me. I'm just going to shape it. They're going to pop it up, and I'm just going to win a bunch of free points. I teach this shot just because it works, and you guys should be using it just because. But you have to get used to the shape. Go ahead. So I would say whenever they know how to drive the ball, right? Maybe like 3-5. They know how to drive the ball because they like to drive it hard. And yeah, they'll overpower some players. But when you want to get to that next level, it's not about power. It's about shape. So it's literally creating the rotation on this shot that goes. See how he's hitting it below his waist? If you're able to create that shape, then all of a sudden, the only way that person can defend is to be soft and drop it in my feet. But by that time, I already won like 5 or 6 points. So, I mean, and it takes a lot of knowledge to say, okay, I want to surrender to this shot. But, it takes a lot of talent. So, if you're able to say, okay, create that shape, and the shape is something that they can practice on their own. They have these little topspin things that you hit topspin on, and then they'll sit there and then but for us, the topspin comes naturally. We already have that from tennis. So it's like just, instead of trying to go hard, you're trying to go shape, move up, stop, and shake and bake. Because a lot of tennis players, they'll do the spin, but they'll just sit back here. So they'll just sit back here and then they can't take advantage. But if I slow, come up, stop, and then punch, then all of a sudden I'm already 1-2. I'm creating that one shake and then the bake. So it's like that pattern. But yeah, that's a good question because like once they know how to hit a forehand, just say slow it down. Make sure that you're putting more topspin because what you're trying to create is that pop-up, basically. All right, so now we're gonna talk about. So you're gonna hit me a shot on the forehand. So let's get you at the kitchen line. So you're gonna go. I'm gonna go to your forehand. All right, do it again. Trying to get used to this court. Good. All right, so basically now, instead of shaking it right at them, you are gonna hit a topspin cross court shot to the corner. So what you want to create is you want to create that person to not be stable, to not know what you're gonna throw at them, right? Because if you just drive it at them, they're on it. But now you're gonna try to create a topspin shot in the kitchen. So do it again. So you want to create this rotation and hit it in the corner. Do it again. Like that, right there. So if they're not expecting it, they're gonna let that ball bounce, basically, and then they're gonna struggle because the ball's gonna bounce, they're gonna pop it up, and then you just clean them up. So this shot's called a tornado. Go ahead.
Is that a drop with top?
Exactly. So a drop, but taking it up a level where you're just putting spin on the ball, and that's why the shot is called a tornado. And that's my biggest shot. Like people talk about that tornado shot that I hit just because like it's so effective. Because I either gonna go right at them, or they're gonna go cross court. They're gonna be shaking, and then by the time they get contact with it, they're gonna pop it up. Their job is to get it down in the kitchen. That's basically their job. But if they pop it up, boom, I'm just there and I just clean it up. So I call this 1-2 called tornado and cleanup. The key is to go to the same person twice. Because what happens is that, let's say Marcus is playing with somebody else. He's struggling, this guy's ready. You go to this guy, you're gonna eat it. It's all about kind of like being a pit bull. Don't let go of him. Just gonna get you have to stay on top of the same guy. And even in the shake and bake, you wanna just kind of stay on top of them and just don't let go. That's how you can create those points. So on the third shot, you have those two options. You can either go shake and bake, or you can go tornado and cleanup. Go ahead.
Only defense to that is hitting a drop real short.
In the kitchen.
That's the only way.
That's the only way. And then once that happens,
What are you gonna do?
guess what? All right. So we went from 80-20, right? I hit the tornado. I'm at the 60-40. This guy's like, oh, Frank is already coming up. I can't pop this ball because he's gonna kill me. Then he drops it short, and then guess what? I just accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. What is it? 50-50. When I'm serving, I have the disadvantage. But once I get to the kitchen line, and all the pros know how to get to the kitchen line consistently,
Hit that shot and dink it.
and then all of a sudden, like we're at the 50-50 mark, and then I can just beat him with the dinks. All right, but it's a numbers game. If you never get to the 50-50 mark on a match, guess what? You're not going to be very successful. Because you can never get points when you only can get points when you're serving. So you as a pickleball player say, okay, I'm gonna take this guy, I'm gonna get to the 50-50 mark as much as possible, I'm gonna be winning a bunch of points. So basically you just handcuff the guy. But he won't realize that, and it's so hard to keep this ball down even for me. Because imagine, he's got so much topspin, he goes to my backhand, and I'm going like this. Imagine, the ball has a lot of juice. And for me to keep this ball down, it's super hard. Because I leave it a little bit high, I'm dead. So those are the shots that I want you guys to kind of explode. But the key to this is to be able to be unpredictable. To be able to say, okay, I'm gonna shake and bake one, I'm gonna drop him. I want this guy to be always on edge. If he's always on edge, then he's never like set. He's always like, what is this guy doing? What is he gonna do? And that creates, you know, that's what the pros are always able to do it that way. All right, so now you're gonna go all the way back. All right, so we're gonna talk about the fourth shot now. So I return, he served to me, I return, I'm here, and I'm trying to keep him back. This is one of the shots that a lot of tennis pros don't realize and they don't hit, right? So give me a drop. Nice. All right, so good players are going to drop you at the kitchen, and what a lot of players are going to do is that they're going to reach in and they're going to hit their shot at their shoelace. So they'll be hitting it here and then popping it up. What you want to do is that you want to let the ball bounce, realize that he's still in transition. So he's still in transition, you're letting the ball bounce, and you're trying to go heavy with a lot of spin, but try not to panic. Because what happens is that a lot of pros, they'll panic and they'll hit it so hard and they'll hit it out. So you are trying to be aggressive and you're trying to put him on edge, but you have to kind of back off the line a bit. When I first started playing, I was like, I gotta keep this, I gotta try to take everything out of the air. Like that. And then all of a sudden he hits one of my feet, and you have to learn how to back off and try to keep that top spin going. So it's a split second. If it's here, I'm taking it out of the air. If the ball's dropping, I gotta back up, I gotta let that ball bounce, and then try to keep my 80-20. At that point, he's gonna be in the midcourt. So get on the midcourt. A little more. All right, so I'm gonna go hard at you. Be ready, I'm gonna go hard at you. All right, so see how hard it is to defend? Because he's trying to keep this ball in the kitchen. Anything high, he's dead. So I'm going right at him, hard. Excellent. See, this guy's killing it. So I'm going hard at him, he's resetting, and then he'll get to the 50-50 mark. Most regular people that you're going to play, or the lower ranks, they're not going to be able to have that hands where they're resetting it in the kitchen. Okay? All right, so let's go all the way up. All right, so now we're going to talk about speed-ups. To be able to be successful at the kitchen line, you're going to have to be aggressive in some of these shots. So you have to be able to kind of like start a fight, basically, right? Start a fight and learn how to back it up. Because a lot of people don't know how to start a fight, but they're not ready for the next one. All right, so we're gonna dink a couple, and I'm gonna hit it right at you. All right, here we go. All right, so the key for this one is to hide it well. So to be able to for him to say, oh, Frank looks like he's gonna be dinking this shot, and then all of a sudden I just punched him in the face, right? So it's like you gotta learn to hide it. And when I tell my students, it's like, when you do this, it's like you're sending me an email letting me know that you're gonna speed it up, and I'm just like, see ya, right? So the key is to say, I'm acting like I'm gonna dink it, boom, and then all of a sudden he's just like shaky. So it's learning to hide it and being able to kind of.
I didn't see that, but that one that you got hit here, I didn't. I had no idea.
You had no idea, because what happens is that you want to you don't want to do it like right off the bat. A lot of tennis players, they want to speed up. Once they get to the 50-50 mark, they're so desperate to win the point that they'll speed it up right away, and I'm just like, thank you, boom, see you later, right? But it's once you get to the kitchen, you want to kind of earn the speed up. What I mean by earn it is that you want to kind of move it around, what happens is that basically, once you pick on one person, and you go one here, then all of a sudden you're going to have open court. Go to this corner real quick. So he's dinking from that side, right? And then all of a sudden the middle's open. I'm just going to take it. You guys just saw how I hit that ball. It's not even that hard. But once you know how to open up the court, you can say that's open, and I'm just gonna take it. Thank you. So the speed up is huge, but you have to learn to hit it with top spin. You have to learn to be able to say, boom, it's coming up and down, because if you don't, that ball is just gonna fly out on you. And where the speed up is huge. So the only place that a person cannot defend is gonna be the right shoulder, right there. All of us in tennis, right here, so fast. You speed it right at their stomach, they're gonna get it. But if you're able to chicken wing him and catch him right here, they're not gonna be able to defend that. Good players are gonna know that it's coming, and they'll go here, and then they'll slide to their forehand. So they're so in their feet where they're here, and then they'll do what you call a scorpion. But by that time, it's kind of late. So you have to just kind of have that option and being able to speed up the shot right there. See, it's hard. It's hard for you to get that paddle there. So it's boom, right there. But you knew it's coming. See. So this speed up is something that you just have to kind of work on it and just kind of make sure that you're putting a lot of rotation on the ball. All right. So let's move on to the top spin dinks. And if you guys see, all my strengths are basically top spin shots, right? That's what's going to separate tennis players. If they learn how to use all their top spin shots in all these shots, it's going to be amazing. So there's a couple of dinks. All right, let's just dink straight. So if I'm dinking like this, is what you call a dead dink. So a dead dink means that I'm not doing anything, right? So if he hits me a dead dink, I'm literally saying I'm just gonna punch you and you're trash, right? Because your dink is dead. You do that in the pros. The thing is that what I hate in TV is that you cannot see these. People think that they're just dinking like, and it looks so dumb on TV. But once you see it live, dude, these guys are like, they're moving side to side in their kitchen because the ball has a lot of action, right? Anything that like that, any pro is gonna speed the heck out of that ball. And then all of a sudden you cannot keep up because it's just so fast. So basically you're having like a mini match in 7 feet and 7 feet. So it's kind of like a cross-court battle with forehands where, look at this shape. He's not even on it, right? So look, he's hustling. He can't even get to it. So you are trying to generate a lot of rotation with your dinks where you're going, boom, right there, nice, boom. See ya, right? So you're creating offense from this neutral shot. So you go shape this way. So, and it's speaking on the same guy basically. So you're gonna go shape this way, right there, and then go shape this way, right there, and then go shape this way. Until he can't, because I'm bullying him basically. Somebody's doing the bullying, somebody's doing all the work. So you want to kind of be in charge of doing the bullying. Because if you're moving this guy, you're creating two things. You're creating open space and you're creating a pop-up. And once that pop-up goes, he's dead. The hardest shot for me to like really get, it's my backhand cross-court dink. At first, I was only doing this number. Like that. Look at that. That ball has nothing on it, right? So now look at this one. So I'm getting low, I'm creating a lot of juice. Nice get. You had a 200 backhand dink there. All right. See, like that. So it's a lot of juice. So and then you can't cover that one. So you have to practice this because you're really working hard with your footwork where you're trying to go sideways, you're trying to get low. And the biggest thing that I changed was when I first started, I was dropping it like a tennis racket, and all my things were super high. And I was talking to one of my guys that I train with, and I was like, why am I leaving all these things high? It's like, Frank, don't drop it and get underneath it. Go here, strike it, keep it nice and tight, and that made the whole difference. So I was able to go. Keep going cross court with my. So look at my footwork. So I'm getting behind it, and I'm trying to shape that. So it's here, shape. Can't get used to this sport. So it's here, shape it. Here, shape it. And this shot is very crucial. You have a question?
Yeah, how much has the paddle technology and carbon fiber base, how much has that actually contributed to the increase in the use of spin versus players just tactically deciding I need to do this?
So I was talking to Marcus about this earlier. Basically, the pros want to have the grittiest paddle available, right? Why? Because it's easy to create spin with a gritty paddle. If you have one of those Selkirks, in the pro world they call those Selkirks pillows, because they're nothing. You can't do anything with it. They're not gritty. They're just like good for control. So my paddle. So the way that the USA Pickleball tested, it cannot come off the paddle greater than 30. Mine's at 29.9. So I got the maximum grit that's available for me. It's like having a good set of strings in a racket, basically. But imagine, you cannot restring this every day like we used to when we play matches, we were restringing weekly. Here, the pros, they can afford because they get them for free, so they'll be able to kind of use the grittiest paddle. The grit, you just over time, it just goes away. So amateurs are not gonna pay $200 every match they play. They can't. It's impossible. But it does make a huge difference because then you got guys that are kind of cheating. They're going over the limit. So that's why when you play your tournaments, they'll check your paddles for roughness. Because if you got more roughness that is legal, that's you're basically cheating. So it's definitely, and I think pickleball is at a place where everything's just happening and it's just kind of changing, like with the whole power thing. Their paddles are just too powerful. I mean, when the Yolas came out, I was looking into some guys that I usually beat. I mean, these guys were good college tennis players, but they would never beat me. And then all of a sudden they were just kind of smoking me, and I could not keep up with them. And at first I thought it was me. I was like, dude, Frank, you're getting off for this game, And then all of a sudden, it was the paddle. The paddle just become too hot, and it's becoming dangerous, because you got, the older ladies that are just hitting it with so much power, and they can get hurt between each other. So definitely the technology they're still trying to figure it out. The second paddle that I'm coming up with, this is my brand. I'm coming up with a more powerful paddle just to compete with the Yolas, basically. So that's always because you always want to have the best equipment that you can, especially if you're trying to think it like this and be able to kind of put that shape on the ball. Okay. So we covered let's just do one more shot, and we'll leave it up for Q&A, some questions. So basically, you're gonna go all the way back. So here, good players are gonna drive the ball right at you, right? So he hit the serve, I hit my return, I'm at the 80-20. You really wanna get used to the punch volley, keeping them deep. So give me a drive. You see how far and how deep I kept them? What happens with a lot of tennis players is they'll massage this ball and then they'll leave it right there. And this is the mindset where you just have to say, I gotta keep my depth. My depth-wise, it has to be a lot deeper so that way I can stay on top of this guy. So you have to be very disciplined because to me, the pickleball, the paddle, the sweet spot is tiny. It's not like a tennis racket. So if you're a little off, when I'm a little tired, I'm a little off, I'm gonna be framing. So these drives are coming at me super quick. So I have to be here,
I gotta get my paddle in the kitchen, and I gotta be hitting it with my sweet spot to be able to keep that ball deep. So it's boom. Look how deep I'm keeping this guy. Right? Boom, deep, deep, until he runs out of court. Yeah.
I know probably at your level you don't do too much. At a lower level, would you suggest use the deep?
Yeah, yeah. The drop volley, like you said, the older people, they'll use it all the time. If that works, 100%. Because what happens is that most amateurs will stay at the baseline, and they don't realize that the purpose of this game is to go from 80-20, 60-40, 50-50. They don't transition. They'll just go to the baseline. They'll sit here until they win the point, or they'll hit it, and then they'll go to the kitchen line, right? And then they'll go like this, and I do that because like when I play them, I just smoke them at their feet. And they're like, Frank, you're so good. I was like, yeah, but you have no transition game. You're going from the baseline to the kitchen like this. You have no plan, and you're just hoping to win the point because that's what your coach told you. Your coach told you to get to the kitchen, right? Yeah, but the difference between a good player and not so good player is that it's like a dance. Come all the way up. All right, so you were trying to take me out. So I hit my third. I stop. I reset the ball. That reset was horrible, so I stayed here. Let's do it again. Man, you're too good. Right there. No, you're good. Here, give me deep. So I hit my third. I stop. I reset it. I get in here, and then see you. All right. So it's that dance that you have to get that timing where the closer I am to the kitchen, by the time he's hitting his fourth shot, it doesn't buy me time. I'm only going to go like that. But if I can stop a little bit, like right here, got a little more time, and then I hit, all right, it's a bad reset, stay here. Don't go into fire when it's a bad reset. When it's a good reset, then you earn it. And the thing is that it's hard because not only do you have to do it, but your partner has to do it also, right? I play with amateurs that they think they know that I'm a pro, but I don't hit a perfect third every time. And before I hit this shot, they're already at the kitchen. And I'm like, man, this lady's like having so much faith in me, but she's taking the court away from me because I was gonna go to that corner. She's over there. If I hit it over there, I'm gonna hit her. And then all of a sudden I change my mind and I frame it. And I just look like dumb, right? But all these strategies were how to move and how to makes a huge difference. But yeah, so basically that's all the tools that I wanted to give you guys. I wanted to give you guys the serve, huge weapon. If you learn how to hit it with a lot of topspin and height, and be confident hitting that serve, the way that I like to do it is that I give myself 10%. That's not my budget. Like I'm gonna miss 10%. I'm okay with that because if I can get 4 or 5 missed returns, that's half of the game. It's worth it to me for me to lose 10% and be able to gain not many points. The shake and bake, where you're shaping it and you're coming in, then you got the tornado where you tough, and that shot's awesome for tennis players because they don't realize that you can do it. You have to practice it, but most people that don't come from tennis, they can't hit this shot. You know, all the squash people, they can't hit that much amount of shape on a ball in the corner like we do, right? Then we talked about the speed ups. The speed ups is something that you want to be able to kind of hide it and train where you're just acting like you're thinking, and then you just want to punch it. We talk about topspin dinks because that's something that it takes a while to develop because you got to go up and down in 14 feet. It's hard. Most of you guys are going to leave it high and you're going to eat it at first, but you have to sit here and just kind of practice that footwork and try to get that shape down and try to open up the court. And then we talked about the fourth shot. So learning how to back up the line and putting that spin so that way the ball, so that way you keep your advantage. But that was it. Any questions? Okay. Right. So the slice is huge. I like it a lot. But the thing is that what you are trying to do against me, you are not trying to give me the same look all the time. Because if I know that I'm going to your backhand and you slice me that backhand, I hit it twice, I'm confident with it. What you're trying to do is you're trying to make me go. When I'm here and I'm bullying you, I'm not only giving you topspin, I'm taking time away from you. I'm like taking the ball out of the air, and then the time cuts in half. So you just feel always rushed. So if you can slice one, right? And then also topspin one, and then the slice is beautiful. I love it because you need it, especially when you get pulled out wide and you're just barely hanging in there. Throw in the slice to get to neutral. But if I'm set, guess what? I'm gonna be shaping it just because like I want to have an advantage. So you realize, am I getting bullied? Shoot, I gotta go neutral. But if I'm doing the bullying, then it's so fun because then all of a sudden I can control my own destiny. I can go slice, topspin, see you later. You hit it too high. What happened with a lot of people that play slice in conference tennis, they'll hit me the same spot every time, and I'm just like, they'll go back and cross to me, and then I'm just sitting there and I'm just going, punch this guy, get him out of position. But if you're able to slice one here and then slice one here, and then so have a little more creativity of how you use that slice, I would say.
Attack on that.
Yeah.
When you say slice, because there's two different kind of slices when you're like tennis wise. Are you trying to get that ball to like, you know, slide, or are you trying to get that ball to sort of drop? Is it a drop slice or is it more of a through slice? Like what do you look for? What do you see? It's like, oh, that's when you say sit up. Now's my time. Like, what's the best slice to use? You know,
So
do you float it, or do you cut?
So
get a sharp cut?
what you are trying to do is you're trying to get it at my feet. So I'm here, right?
Get the land at your feet.
Get it to land on my feet. So because you're trying to back me off. So if I'm here, I can do this. Or even if I'm a little here, I'm more neutral. But you're trying to get me out of position where you gotta get me out of my stance and go back, and then all of a sudden it's a struggle. So you had a really good slice in tennis, I remember. So you use this like at my feet, made me back up, and then all of a sudden I'm just in defense and you're controlling me. Basically you're trying to use that slice to your advantage. So you're trying to, and the only thing that I would say that you gotta be really careful with that sharp slice cross court, because then all of a sudden the ATP comes in play. So if you hit a slice too far out, then I go boom. Man, the ball should be over there, but you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm a little thrown with the court, but if you slice that out wide, then all good players are gonna just sit here and then you go boom. They're gonna smoke you.
More
So
like trying to hit your foot.
hit my foot. So
That's better than landing it short.
100%. This is like a dead dink. This you don't want dead dinks. You want to have a dink where you're gonna go here and then all of a sudden here and then all of a sudden here. So you want me to be like having to catch up. That's how you open up the court and you create a pull-up.
Got a design-related question.
Yeah.
This is going back into my childhood when I used to play competitive ping pong before they called it table tennis. What we used to do, and there weren't very many rules back in those days, but what my father came up with was, and I think you could actually buy ping pong, you might remember when we were kids, ping pong bats, but the surface was sandpaper. Okay? Have you ever thought about coming up with a surface where you've got a smooth backing, but with some kind of an adhesive that's removable, and make it out of something like sandpaper, where you could put it on the bat or the paddle, and then once it's worn down, the player can peel it off, put a new piece on, something like that.
Yeah, so there's a guy that created a company already, and no, this guy is already on it. He has a little like a Velcro. Well, you just have a paddle and you stick it in, but it's on the progress of getting approved. And so it's like right now that's kind of like the future, I think, because like you can just kind of strap on the grid and in and out, but it's getting approved.
There's so many regulations.
It's right now it's crazy because like every year is like the Wild West. I mean, it's every year they're changing the grid, they're pushing the limits with the power, with the grid. So I feel like that's just gonna get more dangerous if it's too powerful. Because right now what I do is when I play, I have glasses. because these guys are hitting it super hard, and I've gotten hit like twice. If I didn't have any glasses, I would have probably lost it, because the guy just coming from transition and hit me right in the eye.
What's the regulation on like the length of the paddle? Because as players start to use more two-handed backhands, do you see the handle getting longer, or would that exceed the?
Yeah, so that's legal. So right now, there's the longer handles are legal. For me, I have a two-handed backhand, and I just been playing like with the two fingers on the back. I feel like the two-handed, the longer paddle, as far as the timing with my whole, because the kitchen play at the pro level is huge. Like a little bit of a longer paddle is gonna mess me up a little bit extra. So it's like I don't want to go the extra mile, because then all of a sudden my reaction time cuts in half, and it's lacking. So there's some trade-offs, but see, this game is not so much baseline. You know what I'm saying? If you're playing singles, yeah, you know. But when you're most of these pros are playing at 50-50 here, and then it's all hand speed, and it's long where the paddle should be.
What is your recommendation? A lot of time when I play, I can hit a topspin serve, but then when it comes back to my partner, he or she, the spin come back too much and they cannot read it. What would your recommendation would be for me to tell my partner at that time?
The thing is that you're trying to work on core position, right? When you don't have any spin, there's no spin, these people are not get pushed back, right? So if you, like I said, the difference between a return here or a here against, if you hit it here against me, you're dead, right? I don't know what level player that you're playing with, but like if they can handle a return here with a lot of topspin, they're in trouble, right? Because like that's where what you are trying to accomplish with the topspin, you know, or they're not seeing it quick enough. They're not seeing it quick enough. I mean, that's a huge advantage, where people that are just tapping it in, they're not creating anything. You are trying to push these people back because you're trying to create space. If they are lacking, if they're at the kitchen line by the time you're hitting, there's no advantage. But if they're a little farther back, that's the advantage. And that's the third shot. It's kind of like you're looking for spaces, whereas when you first start, you don't see those.
Guys, that's all we got. Everyone, thank you. Frank,
Thanks, guys.
He's around. You got any more questions, battles, anything? Ask. Got over here. Thank you, Frank.